Peter Schiff made a very interesting statement today. He said that we are not borrowing ourselves rich, we are borrowing ourselves broke. He's 100% right. Let's talk about why he's right, and let's talk about why you better be getting prepared. Here in America, we are probably some of the most dumbed down people in the entire world. I read an article yesterday on Zero Hedge. I want to kind of touch base on that article a little bit because it made some very, very good points and how forgetful we are as a country. Right now, in 2019, Wall Street is on cruise control. Most have already forgotten what happened in late 2018 in December when we lost 20% of the market. And let's think about 2008. I can remember 2008 pretty well. Most people have completely forgotten about what happened in 2008. People that really lost a lot have already forgotten what happened back in 2008. And a lot of you may be too young to actually realize what happened in 2008. But we can go to 2018 and it's already been forgotten. The market has risen. The market right now, 2019, has risen 10% this year. And everyone is acting like everything is fine while the real economy is falling to pieces. Debt delinquencies are at unprecedented levels. Bankruptcies are soaring. Retail stores are closing at a record pace, and it's not all because of Amazon and the internet. This is the worst economy for farmers since the 1980s. Exports are plummeting, and we now are witnessing a real estate crisis that is now just beginning here in the United States of America. This is an economic cancer that's spreading rapidly throughout America, and the U.S. economy is deteriorating at the fastest pace since the last recession back in 2008. And I will tell you who is really being affected by this. It's the middle class. The middle class is being just decimated by what we are witnessing taking place in this economy right now. The middle class is just shrinking, and I don't know how much longer we're going to even have a middle class if this continues. And unfortunately, a lot of the middle class is asleep. They don't realize what's going on. They're not paying attention. Their priorities are somewhere else. And these people are going to pay a very serious price for being comatose. A whopping 4,039 store closures have already been announced this year in 2019. Small and mid-sized farms are going under. Debt is up 30% since 2013, when it was $315 billion of debt. Now today, as of 2018, there was $409 billion of debt. And when we get the numbers for 2019, they will exceed $409 billion. Canada is now on the verge of a recession. Fourth quarter GDP was a dismal 0.1% growth. Europe, Germany, which is supposed to be the strongest economy in the region, they also are on the brink of recession. GDP last month was 0% in Germany. And that was following a 0.4% contraction in the previous 3 months. So Germany in big trouble. To make matters worse, the House Judiciary Committee is opening an investigation into obstruction of justice by President Donald Trump. So as this economy is falling apart, as the country is divided, the country's falling apart, we're going to have these socialists now continue and bring in more investigations, more charges, more false charges. These people are making stuff up and throwing it against the wall, hoping something's going to stick. The Mueller thing is going to be a big can of nothing. And so the Democrats are already saying they're going to start their own investigation after Mueller's investigation. So we're just going to be looking at countless investigations, countless charges, countless made-up stories while our economy and our country are falling apart. That is just another an example of why these socialist Democrats don't care about America, don't care about you. They care about themselves. They care about authority. They care about their own money. their own lives. They don't care about this country. They've sold America out a long, long time ago. I truly believe at this point in America, as an American citizen, that we are witnessing a very dark, demonic force attacking this country. And it is using this Socialist Democratic Party, which are the puppets of the satanic globalists who want to take America down. These people are traitors, they're sellouts, they are selling us out, and they must be stopped. How many of you out there, and please comment below, believe so many of these people, even in the Republican side, but so many of these Democrats need to be investigated, prosecuted, charged, put in prison, even executed? When you look at the crimes Hillary Clinton committed, when you look at the crimes that Bill Clinton committed, we could even talk about Obama. We could, we have James Comey, Eric Holder, the Lynches, the Peter Strzok's, all these people, the names go on. We could spend hours just talking about the people that were involved in an attempted coup here, Fast and Furious, running guns over to Mexico. And of course, these Democrats want open borders because they need the voting pool. They know that you and I are waking up. We see the agenda. We understand what is taking place. They know that the American people are waking up and are not going to be voting for them. And that's why they've got to import votes. That's why they're opening up these borders and bringing millions of people over to America that you and I are going to be financially paying for while they're living off the system, while they're getting government subsidies and voting for these Democrats. Very, very scary times for America. And this isn't a conspiracy theory. This is all real, and this is happening right now. It's becoming very, very clear what their agenda is, and it is to destroy America. The biggest threat to the traitors are Donald Trump and the American people. They want to take Donald Trump down, and they want to get rid of you, the American people, and they want to bring in millions and millions and millions of more illegal aliens in order to regain authority and control while they continue to take your rights away, while they continue to take your guns away, while they continue to try to take God away from you, while they continue to not want you to think, while they continue to brainwash you with all this fake news. Remember the globalist elite there's only 6 corporations that own all major media in the world. And all those corporations are owned by globalists. And they're going to do as much as they can do to continue to brainwash you, to assault this president, to call Americans like you Nazis and racists, and why we should just have open borders and allow the entire world here, and why we should accept socialism. This is what's coming to America. Right now in 2019, we're looking at $575 billion. That's what it's going to cost to service the debt here in America. If you really think everything is okay, yet we're spending $575 billion to service our debt, if you think that that's going to end well, I think you are sadly mistaken. And you can bet the debt isn't going down, it's going to increase. So the amount of money that it's going to cost to service this debt year after year is going to brutalize the U.S. economy and the U.S. taxpayer. U.S. credit card debt closed 2018 at record $870 billion. That's not a good sign. A lot of these people are running up credit cards because they're doing cash advances to pay bills. They're doing cash advances to pay medical bills, pay for food at the grocery store. They're using credit cards for all kind of things to survive. A lot of these people are living off of credit cards at this point. And there are people that are living way beyond their means using credit cards too. But we're also seeing people who cannot keep up with inflation. Their paychecks are not keeping up with the cost of living. And so they're dependent on their credit cards to live. And that's a ticking time bomb, because sooner or later, that runs out. Another story in Zero Hedge, U.S. construction spending growth tumbles to 8-year lows. Not a good sign of a healthy economy. Angry Tesla owners protest the company's aggressive price cuts. This was on Zero Hedge yesterday. Tesla's in big trouble. They're slashing prices. And if you just bought a Tesla, and the same Tesla now is $30,000 less, you'd be very, very angry. So how is that going to affect the repeat business? Probably not good. What kind of sign is that showing us? It's showing us they're in big trouble, that they're having to slash prices like that. As you know, they're closing all 378 of the retail stores. So Tesla in very, very big trouble. Stock market was down. Dow Jones was down 206 yesterday. We saw a lot of volatility. It was down 13 today, but overall we're up 10%, as I said earlier. And I find it hard to believe that this whole thing, that the markets are just soaring, all based on China negotiations. So we've had we had a close deal in December. We were close to a deal in January. We were close to a deal in February, and we keep hearing that we're close to a deal in March. When is the market going to respond differently? How many months are we going to continue hearing that we're close to a deal? And if we ever do get a deal, is it the deal that we really want? Is it a deal that China will actually abide? I don't know. I think that China can promise us one thing and do another. So I don't know if they'll abide by a deal. They may say something and do another. But I find it so hard to believe that these markets are so dependent on China trade talks and this China trade war. Yet there's been nothing concrete, nothing solid. Yet all we keep hearing is we're close, and the markets just keep soaring. It's hard to believe. Deflationary red alert. Chinese car dealers are slashing prices, and it's not helping. So the global markets are in trouble. This was on Zero Hedge today. Not a good sign for the global markets. It begins. China's largest property developer will sell all homes at a 10% discount. So big real estate trouble in China now also. They're having to slash prices. More trouble. I think anybody with half a brain at this point can see that the economy, the real economy, not the stock market, not the thing you see on TV, not what the business analysts are telling you every morning on Fox Business or CNBC or MSNBC, what is really happening. You know, you probably have stores in your area that you see vacant. I see lots of vacancies out here in the desert. I think that we are aware that there is major inflation taking place, even though when we watch the television, they're all telling us there's no inflation. But you go to the grocery store, you go and buy a car, you go and buy a house and tell me that there's no inflation. Go buy a box of cereal, a loaf of bread, or a pound of hamburger. Go to the restaurant, go to your local restaurant. Is it cheaper this year than it was last year? No. Will it be more expensive next year? Yes. We're seeing major inflation, and it's really affecting people's lives. And again, this is another reason why you must be getting prepared, getting your debts paid off as much as you can to a minimum, having some assets like gold and silver put away, and not living beyond your means, not living to impress people you don't know or people you don't like. Do you really need a 5-bedroom house when all you really need is a 3-bedroom house? Do you need 4 cars when all you need is 2? Do you need a swimming pool if you don't use it? Do you need to be spending money on weekend trips to Vegas and wherever? Or maybe, taking some of that money and putting it into your future, like owning some gold or silver. And maybe some people have to make some sacrifices. Maybe you're not taking that vacation and actually taking that money and buying some hard assets. Everybody wants to live like it's reality TV, but if you want to survive what's coming, then you need to be making some sacrifices right now, getting the debt paid off, putting some cash aside, and making sure that you're holding some gold or some silver or both. The people who are just living life like a party right now, who think nothing's going to happen, who think that the banks or the government or the Federal Reserve is going to fix what is happening or what's coming. It's not going to work like that. You need to worry about yourself. You need to be your own central bank, and you need to be prepared as an individual for what's coming, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Here's another story. 76,000 migrants entered through southwest border in February, most in 12 years. That came out today. That makes 163,000 people who have been caught by our Border Patrol so far this year. Ask yourself this, how many people made it over? If we caught 163,000, how many made it into America? Washington Post, border rush may hit 100,000 migrants in March. Our country is broke. It's going broker, yet we're being invaded by illegal aliens every day. This is going to continue to drain our financial system. This is going to continue to flood our country with more uneducated, unskilled people, more cartels, more murders, more rapists, more disease. When the lights go out in America, we're going to have so many people from around the world that we're going to have to deal with. People that have been very hardened, criminals from all over the world, soldiers and terrorists from all over the world. This is what we're going to have to deal with. And you can thank your politicians, because the politicians are responsible for bankrupting this country with $22+ trillion of debt. They overspent, they robbed Social Security, they've robbed pensions, yet these people are all multimillionaires and billionaires. These are the people that robbed you and are flooding your country with illegal aliens from all over the world who are never going to assimilate to America. And when the lights go out, these people are going to be without rule of law. They could care less. They are not loyal or dedicated to America. They are here just to take. And this is what's coming to America every day, and you're going to have to deal with it. Make sure you own firearms, lots of ammo, and make sure you are training, because this problem is getting bigger every day. Large migrant groups cross border barrier into Arizona, says feds. That's 100 people they caught in one group in Arizona. One group of people, 100 right there. I believe these people were from Honduras. Human smugglers busted after driving through California border. This happened 45 minutes from my house the other day. El Centro. 2 vehicles with 14 illegals in it that they were trafficking. Who knows for what? Human trafficking, maybe for the sex slave business. Who knows? Could be little kids. But they drove 2 vehicles just right over the border. Right over the border. There was no gates, no walls, no nothing. They just drove right over. Luckily, Border Patrol was watching them and apprehended them. But I mean, isn't it unbelievable that cars from Mexico can just drive right over, hop on a dirt road, and if nobody sees it, they're in. So I got to get out of here, but before I leave, I just want to close with a few words. America's in big trouble, and I'm very concerned about anybody watching this video. I'm concerned about every person out there, and even if you don't believe this, even if you're in complete denial, even if you believe this is just fear porn, I'm really worried about you, especially because you're going to suffer the most. You're going to suffer a lot more than the people who are prepared, the people who are awake. We're expecting this to happen. For you, the people who aren't expecting this to happen, that don't think it can happen, when it does happen, you're going to be in a nightmare. I really worry the most about you. But I think, I gave you some more evidence today of why you need to be preparing. Of course, you should have all your preps topped off, medical supplies, food, water, etc., all that stuff. But again, make sure you have silver and gold, because financially you want to be insuring your wealth. You do not want to get wiped out when this wealth transfer comes around again, because it's going to be a big one. Also, firearms are a necessity, number one. You see the people coming to this great country. You see what they're flooding us with. A lot of these people are coming here. I want you to think about this. I really want you to think about this as Americans. How many of these people are coming here and they're having babies, all right? They're coming here and having babies. While here in America, we Americans, we're killing ours. Think about that. Have a great week, guys. Thanks for taking the time and watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Some people haven't been getting the newest videos, so make sure you hit that little bell up there. And when the new video comes out, you will get it. So please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell. Make sure you share this video, and make sure you're doing everything you can to prepare for yourself and your family. America will be successful because Americans are not going to allow socialism or globalism to take this great country. God bless every one of you.